What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today, well, we've got a new card to look at, and I'm going to be honest with you, I am a little bit salty about this one. You see, yesterday I showed you Hackmon, and when talking about Hackmon in the video, one of the things I basically said to you was, well, I wish we could see Jesmon here. Because that is probably going to change things, and that is going to make things a lot more interesting, and it is really going to help to give us a more complete look. And I made the video, and I uploaded it, and I went and had some lunch, and then I sat back down on my computer to only find out that Jesmon had been revealed, which is very upsetting. But the good news is we can now look at it, and we can look at it in the full context of everything we've seen before. So what do we actually have here? Well, in terms of stats, it is extremely standard. We have 11 cost to play normally, 3 cost to Digivolve, 11,000 power. That is your ordinary, everyday, average, run-of-the-mill level 6. But then we've got ourselves a couple of skills, which is awesome. When you attack, you may play a Digimon that has Systemon in its name from your hand or trash without paying the cost. Brilliant. And it is an attack skill. So you're going to basically have this every time you attack. And I told you that seeing Jesmon could make us really change our minds about how we feel about this whole kind of line. And it absolutely does. Now, if we go back to Systemon, of course, we have 2 of them. We have Blank and Noir. Systemon Blank, if you've got a Digimon with Hackmon in its name, or a Digimon with Royal Knight in its type. Yes, this does have Royal Knight in its type, obviously. All of your Digimon with Systemon in their name gain Blocker. But also when you play it, you draw a card. Now, at some point, hopefully you'll get Systemon Blank down, get your Blocker, etc. For now, I am more interested in the fact that we can draw a card. Because now, every time I attack with Jesmon, I get to play one of this for free and draw a card. And Digimon is not a game with lots of card draw. Drawing cards is just not the kind of thing we tend to do very often in Digimon. It is not the way we tend to roll. So if you're now telling me I get to draw a card and play a card for free every time I attack, that changes things very, very significantly and very, very quickly. And I love it. Or maybe we go for Systemon Noir, that gives your Digimon with Hackmon in their name or Royal Knights an extra 2,000 power, which incidentally is huge because it turns Jesmon from an average 11,000 power into an above average 13,000 power, which means you will now be able to take out the vast majority of level 6s without being deleted by yourself, which is kind of huge. And when you play it, you get a memory. So you can either play Systemon Blank for free, get a bunch of blockers, and draw a card. And bearing in mind, if you've got Jesmon out, then Systemon Blank will come down immediately as a blocker. Or I can play Systemon Noir and gain a memory, and give myself extra power if I don't have one down already. Draw a card or gain a memory while playing a card for free. This is absolutely brilliant. Oh yeah, and also, on your turn, once during your turn, when you play another Digimon, this Digimon gains 3,000 power and piercing for the turn. Yeah. And again, actually, this is huge. So, when you attack, you play a card, Systemon, either from your trash or from your hand, which is great, because it means it is way more likely you're actually going to have one. And that is going to get you an extra card or an extra memory. And then, because you've played another Digimon, you'll gain 3,000 power and piercing. But the thing is, the numbers here, it's all about the numbers. Because this will put you up to 14,000 power. And then Systemon Noir will put you up to 16,000 power. And as it stands at the moment, and look, there are ways to boost power on your opponent's turn, okay? But in terms of natural power printed on the card without any modifiers, the absolute maximum we see is 15,000 that we see on things like Omnimon. So essentially, this turns into a Digimon that can delete absolutely anything. Bearing in mind you've also got piercing, so when you delete them, you'll attack the stack. but you'll have 16,000 power, so it would take something like a Gaia Force to take you out. No Digimon is going to have enough power unless, again, it's... Let's say you've got the starter deck TK Takaishi, which adds 2,000 power to all of your security Digimon, and there's a couple of those and you hit a really big one, then okay. But generally speaking, it would take something like a Gaia Force to delete you when attacking the stack. So you can take down as big a Digimon as you like, while also piercing and knowing you're going to survive when you attack the stack, and you're playing a card for free, and you're gaining a card or a memory. This is absolutely phenomenal. Just crazy good. Absolutely crazy good. Except it actually gets a little bit better again. Because you see, there are other Digimon that we can combine with this and make it even better. Although, just to put your mind at ease, Lord Nightmon lets you play a yellow Digimon with Warrior in its type. So even though this is Holy Warrior type, you cannot play it for free with Lord Nightmon. That might be a little bit over the top. But we do have the Shoutmon we looked at yesterday. By the way, translated proxies here from BT5 and BT6. Shout out to the lovely folks over at DigimonCard.dev for hooking us up. Those dudes are awesome. So if we take a little bit of a look at Hackmon, that one from yesterday, things start looking even better, like I suggested they might. Because when you play Hackmon, you reveal 5 cards on the top of your deck, and add up to 2 Digimon with Hackmon, Jesmon, or Systemon in their name from among them to your hand. Now, we've not seen any other Hackmon or Jesmon or Systemon at this point. We are essentially limited to the ones we've got in front of us. But that's okay, ladies and gentlemen. I am completely and utterly fine with that. Because we've got the Hackmon that searches out. We've got Systemon Blank that gives all your Systemon blocker and lets you draw a card. And just for a second, right, that is huge. Because it means that you're going to potentially have like 8 blockers on the field. Because firstly, all your Systemon gain blocker. And secondly, you can search them out easily with Hackmon. And thirdly, you can play them easily with Jesmon. So it's not just that they can have blocker, it's that you can both find and play them more easily. So if your opponent wants to take out Jesmon, and they're probably going to want to, it's a phenomenal card, they're going to have to go through essentially all of your Systemon to do it, and I'm not sure they're always going to be able to. To put it another way, every time you attack with Jesmon, you add another blocker in front of you that your opponent has to go through in order to actually attack you, which is getting a little bit silly. So you've got your Hackmon that goes and searches out, you've got your Systemon Blank that draws a card and gives you blocker, and then you've got Systemon Noir that lets you gain a memory and also gives you the power, and like I've laid out, you essentially go up to 16,000 power here. And essentially, if you want to have priority over level 6s, 13,000 power is generally what you're going for. You'll have the odd big boy like Nidogmon that will have 13,000 power, and you'll take it out, but it will take you out as well. But 13,000 is generally what we're going for. And if you want to take out anything, if you want to go after the level 7s, then 16,000 power is essentially what you're looking for. And Systemon Noir will put you up to 13,000, and Jesmon will put itself up to then 16,000, and that means you are absolutely hitting the numbers exactly like you want to. And it is just a thing of beauty. The way all these cards work together so gosh darned well is just absolutely huge. And I've not mentioned about the general red stuff. Like, you've got piercing, and you're going to survive basically anything that comes out of the security. So maybe we remind ourselves about the level 4 Greymon that came around in the red starter deck that will just give you security attack +1. Incidentally, we do need to remind ourselves that although Systemon Noir is a level 4, you're talking about a white level 4, and remember that the Systemon have to be played. They cannot be Digivolved from a Digitarma, so you do need to be playing a kind of a red deck with the Systemon added in, but I think it's fair to say this is absolutely worth it. I'm giving this whole thing 5 wassies. I think Jesmon is phenomenal, and I think when you've got that much power and piercing, and you're drawing extra cards, and you're gaining extra memory, and you can play cards for free, and you can find cards more easily, and you've got a million blockers out, things get really silly really quickly in terms of how good this can end up being. And I think this is one we should all start getting a little bit excited about, because this looks absolutely legit. But I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk Digimon and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/BT6 Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.